Detective. Detective!
Yeah, of course, yes.
What information can you tell me about the murder case of the lab professor?
The murder case. Oh, right. At the scene of the crime, we were able to uncover a piece of fiberglass. From my study so far, we can closely relate this to the sponge because, well, sponges are made out of fiberglass. He is our prime suspect right now, and so we're off to find him. So, Mr. Squarepants, where were you the night of the murder?
I was at the store when I was stung by a rather rude jellyfish, who I also saw buying cleaning supplies, possibly to cover up a murder.
The store, huh? You have anyone who can vouch for you?
I was with my friend Squidward at the store until 11, and then I went home to my pineapple.
A likely story. We'll get back to you. Stay in town. Yeah.
We seem to have a new development in the case. This fiberglass that we found at the scene, when tested in the lab, was found to be a part of the wall and not part of the sponge. We must have a new suspect then.
With the sponge out of the way, we move on to our next suspect, the jellyfish. You were not only seen buying cleaning supplies at the local store, but you were also seen stinging Mr. Squarepants, and we know your kind has the capability to inject others with deadly neurotoxins.
Well, I was buying them to help my friend Patrick the Star clean his rock. He'll tell you the same thing if you ask him. He said he had gotten into a fight with somebody and I was just helping him. As for that sponge, I was simply in a hurry and he was in my way. Couldn't help it.
A Mr. Patrick Star, is it? Yes, we are actually contacted by one of your friends, telling us that you were in a fight last night. From the look of that limb you seem to be growing, sounds true.
Why, yes, I did get in a fight last night, but it was with this dumb worm that ended up in the sea and decided to invade my rock.
So, Miss Worm, what were you doing in the sea on the night of that fight?
I was with my friend the squid, and as we were talking, I fell into the ocean, and in my confusion, managed to get in a bit of an accidental fight with the sea star. I did, however, lose track of the squid, and he seemed to be up to some sketchy business. I should also probably mention that there was some sort of slimy substance around town.
My next interrogation was with a man named Squidward Tentacles. He seemed like the only suspect that I interrogated that wasn't completely brainless.
I am upset that I was even pulled in here in the middle of my Saturday.
Well, sir, you do look a bit sketchy, but that still doesn't explain the slime-like substance found in the sea.
Why don't you talk to that stupid fish down the road? He's always up to no good, and fish can be a little slimy.
Sir Fish, your spineless friends ratted you out. All signs point to you being the murderer of the innocent lab professor.
I did nothing, I swear. The slime happened to be on me, but it was just because I was doing a favor for my good friend Mr. Krabs.
We were able to rule out almost every single one of our previous suspects. This leaves us with 3 different possibilities here, and we need to get to the bottom of this. In a quick call to Shell Incorporated, it was found that Mr. Krabs had multiple different alibis as to him being at work that day. With tracks uncovered by the other helping detectives, it seems to be a longer animal. This rules out tardigradas and leaves us with Onychophora. It was the saliva from the Onychophora that was all over town. And now that I think about it, the crime scene was on land and there were insects found close by, which just happens to be the diet of Onychophora. The claw marks found on the professor can also be explained by the Onychophora's characteristics of legs and claws. I think we found our man.
We've uncovered new evidence from the professor's research.
December 3rd, 2016, day 3 of research on Onychophora, also known as velvet worms. They reproduce sexually, are protostomes developmentally. They have large oval and yolky eggs, and then hatch as juveniles with developed bodies and organs. Over the years, they have changed from a marine habitat to one that is terrestrial.
She was doing tests on the Onychophora. Now we know the killer's motives. Genetic tree depicting the sharing and developing of characteristics between certain taxa, we were led right to our killer.
After getting the DNA tests back, I've constructed a phylogenetic tree that confirms the detective's assertion.
In both trees, Arthropoda are very closely related to Onychophora. Outside sources agree, stating that Onychophora derived from Arthropoda. The genetics tree depicts a separate clade for Echinodermata and Chordata. It also places mollusca directly next to Onychophora. This could possibly be explained by the marine origins of the taxon.
After doing some research on the web, we were able to find a recently published phylogenetic tree that contained very similar information to the trees we generated during our investigation. We found that the mollusca and the arthropoda were very closely related to the Onychophora.
Onychophora were thought to originate over 500 million years ago,
This phylum is also very closely related to Tardigrada.
and the slight differences in placement of the taxa between the article's tree and ours could be because our tree simply classified taxa based on presence of a few characteristics, not taking into account any convergent evolution.
Case solved.